All right, back again. Week 3 of the Appalachian Trail. We started at Unicoi Gap and ended up at Cheese Factory site the first day, or day 15. I'm just going to go day 1 of week 3, make it a little easier. As I said in the previous one, we got a free ride from Jimmy from the IGA there, Betty's grocery store. It was free, but we went ahead and gave him gas money. I mean, come on, the guy doesn't make much there, and you gotta give. We did get a late start because it was a free ride. They do have shuttle services from there, but they were a bit pricey, especially for 10 miles. Yeah, a little bit pricey. So for the free ride, we were like, yeah, we'll end up going late. So we really didn't get on the trail till about 11:30. It's all good, no problem. I can tell you one thing though, the cold is definitely taking its toll on our bodies. I mean, even the 20, 30-year-olds, their joints are aching and we're all feeling sluggish. It really, really takes a lot out of you. Wind. Did I mention we had a lot of wind? That'll help that cold get right to the bone. Just amazing. So, needless to say, we only did 4 miles, which pretty good considering we only spent a half day hiking. Day 2, week 3. From Cheese Factory site to Sassafras Gap. Well, we started the day off climbing. You know what? And climbing, starting that day, any day, can be psychologically depleting. There's a lot of shelters and campsites. They're in gaps or they're on the ascent side of a mountain. And then if you go into town, well, you're descending to get there, but you're ascending to get back to the trail, so it feels like you're just constantly climbing. So at this point, you're physically beat up by the cold and the trail, and mentally beat up by the trail. And of course, there's always the lessons learned will beat you up too. And as long as you're aware of all this, it does help overcome all the physical and mental things going on. So, for week 3, I think I'm doing pretty good. Especially since there's been a lot of people that have quit already. I'm like, whoa! Maybe I've got a psychological advantage because I'm only doing it in sections. I'm not thinking of it like, oh, I've got to do this whole hike. Maybe that's an advantage I have. Not sure, but I'll take any advantage I can get. So, we did about 7 miles from Cheese Factory to Sassafras Gap. Next day, day 3 of week 3, Sassafras Gap to Dix Creek Gap. That was about 6 miles. We were really feeling sluggish. And we decided, you know what, we get to Dix Creek Gap, we could go on and do another 7 to 8 miles and make the border of North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia. We decided, nah, we're just gonna go ahead, make it, a 3/4 day. It's still not a near, it was a full day hiking. And take a shuttle to the Holiday Inn Express. We tried some of the other places, but apparently something was going on, or hikers were getting off because they were seeing what the weather was going to be like for the next 2 to 3 days, which we had no idea, apparently. Everybody else did. Well, and point that I remembered is we decided to call for a shuttle on the mountain prior to getting to Dix Creek Gap. We learned our lesson. And, got a hold of these gals that provide a shuttle. Actually, the Holiday Inn Express hooked us up with these girls. Shout out to you, Joyce and Sally. You guys are awesome. Great people. You know what? All the people that are shuttled us are just great people to talk to and to know. I'm hoping it isn't just lucking out, and finding these great people. I think they're all there. All the shuttle drivers are just so cool. Whether they do it for free or for money, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just great people offering a service that's pretty darn cheap considering. We get to the hotel. We had heard about this guy, Charizard. Apparently, the cook stoves that we had, he didn't have it screwed on completely. And when he lit it, it was starting to leak. All of a sudden, this gush of fire comes out the side. And so he's trying to put it out. Well, instead of putting it out, he enlarges this big, huge flame. And this thing's rolling around the campsite. Apparently, one of the hikers got a quick film of him. But ever since that, he got the nickname Charizard. Well, I heard about this guy on the trail. Come to find out, he's staying at the Holiday Inn Express. What a hoot. This one guy said, hey, did you hear about this guy, you know, that almost lit the shelter on fire? And I go, oh, you mean Charizard? And apparently his buddy is Charizard. And he's sitting next to him. And he bolts up and goes, you heard of me? I'm like, oh yeah, the trail has heard of you. So, it's like telephone on the trail. One thing is said, and because there are so many people going at different speeds and crossing paths and stopping and starting, yeah, word gets around about different things. Charizard, you've got a reputation. But it's a fun reputation. So, we spent day 3 at the end of that and all of day 4 in Hiawassee, Georgia. We went to Daniel's, all you can eat. Oh, didn't have the hiker hungers yet. I think part of that could have also been the cold. That definitely zapped out our hunger. But oh, they had good food. They had fried chicken, homemade fried chicken. Awesome. Daniel's all you can eat. Great. They also got a Dollar General there. They've got, oh, I forgot the grocery store. They've got everything you need as far as resupply, etc., etc. Well, except for an outfitter per se. But Helen, Georgia has a better outfitter. That's debatable. But everything is there. Actually, still like Helen, Georgia better. Even though Hiawassee had a better, better grocery store by far. Only one thing though. So, we decompressed and then we basically prepped for reality. Instead of going back on the trail, hiking 8 miles, and then hiking back 8 miles, or hiking 15 miles, and we decided no, the cold got us. The 0 day 4 is a 0 day. It was pouring rain, and you could see clouds just covering the mountains. It's like listening to God. It's like, the trail, God telling us, yeah, no, take a break, come back later. And yeah, I listened. Ellie decided to stop for this part of the trail too. I think she's trying to figure out whether she really wants to complete the trail or not. Her legs were aching. I mean, cold got to her too. So, that 0 day, we were pretty sad. We were kind of depressed. And I understand now when hikers say they get depressed getting off the trail. I got a little taste of that. I was really sad to leave the trail. So, we got a hold of Sally again, and the next day we're both heading home. We got a shuttle ride, right from Hiawassee, right there at the Holiday Inn, all the way to the MARTA at North Spring Station. Awesome. I mean, I thought, oh my God, that's a long distance. More than willing to do it. Reasonable price, too. Reasonable price. So, it was awesome ride. A lot of things learned. Last week 3, we did about 17 miles, ascended about 3,600 feet, descended about 4,800 feet. Yeah, Dix Creek Gap is low. Plus, coming out of the mountains, period. The Total for the whole trip, did about 78 miles total. It's not counting hiking to campsites and shelters and hiking out to meet my brother and hiking out here and there for different things. Yeah, we're 8 miles short of the border. You know what? Gonna pick up where I left off and complete that. Probably, hopefully, I'll say hopefully, the first day of my second session of doing this. Next session, definitely pick up where I left off. You know, definitely. Although, I think I'll get with Ellie and see if she's not going to do any more of it this year, but planning on doing some more next year. Maybe I'll kind of skip ahead and do some other part of it so we can hike together when she gets back on the trail. I don't know. Things are kind of fluid and up in the air, possibly. So, total for this section, I ascended over 14,000 feet and descended about 14,000 feet. The ascensions and descensions over half the height of Mount Everest. I climbed over half the height of Mount Everest. I mean, that's awesome. 3 weeks, that's awesome. Georgia, found out, is the second hardest part of the Appalachian Trail. The first being the White Mountains of New Hampshire. Lessons learned. Here's a rehash. Water. Always, always top off your water. If you have plenty of water, make sure you have plenty of water. Make sure you know where your next water is going to be, whether you need it or not. You never know what's going to happen. You will pack too much food. It just will happen. Even the pros pack too much food at first. It just happens. And it's mainly because you're not going to be hungry the first couple days or 3. And you got to make sure you make yourself eat at least once or twice those days. Or else you're just going to deplete your energy and you're going to make yourself sick. Go into town. See the sights, see the people. I mean, if you're going to race along the AT, yeah, that's one thing. Hike your own hike. But you know what? For most, the AT's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. The destiny isn't really the thing. It's the journey. And part of the journey is the towns and the people. Be a part of that. Be a part of every moment, every place that you go in this. And that's another reason I'm doing these videos is to remember and remember these feelings, these sights, these scenes. It just, I don't want to forget them. And to me, writing them down, it just, videos gives that extra depth, at least for me. You know, it's definitely the journey, not the destination for me. The AT provides, that's a reality. It's a real thing. You could even say God provides. It's the same thing. It's miraculous. It's listen. You can ask for things, you can pray for things, but also learn to listen, to watch, to hear. I was thinking because there are so many, younger people on the trail, I'd see these earbuds and people listening to music, and no, people weren't really on their phones. People weren't having the earbuds in. They were there. They were present. They were aware. We all were. It was just awesome. But the next time, I am not taking the bus there, and I'm not taking Crazy Town bus back. Yeah, that bus back was, that was something else. That was God saying, yeah, don't ever do this again. It was Crazy Town coming back. I'm going to go ahead and drive my car. It's only going to be 11, 12 hours, depending upon what part of the AT I do. And park it at some of the people that give the shuttles, because they'll be more than happy to have your car there and shuttle you to where you need to go. But this way, I've got my car there. And 11 or 12 hours, oh heck, I can get there. I can have somebody shuttle. I can walk a couple miles and be at a campsite. Boom. In less than a day. That's awesome. Way better than spending over a day dealing with a bus and transport and yada, yada, yada. That's it from the trail. See you next time.